What's going on, Sens fans? Welcome back to another post-game coverage with Jack and myself. It's, again, great to be back on live. So tonight was another game against Calgary that, again, pretty slow game for the most part. Third period, Ottawa really picked up the pace, but another low-scoring game, and it was 2-1 other than the empty netter. So,
yeah, just pretty similar to the last game. They just added the empty netter, I guess. But the first period, I guess, was better pace than the last game, and it was a lot back and forth, no whistles. I just thought that in the second, the Flames kind of took it to them a little bit.
Yep.
And then, but we've talked about it a lot. Like when this team gets competent goaltending and not, like Gus looks fantastic in 2 games. He's made a really nice save on Gaudreau at the end there, but he's not like, again, stealing the show. He's just making the saves he needs to. He's calm in the net. Very similar to what Decord was doing. So it's when they get that kind of goaltending, they're able to have success because the offense was a little bit asleep, and then it comes to life in the third again. So
yeah. And like you said, Gustafsson just kept us in this game, and he's playing fantastic hockey. And like you said, he hasn't been making a ton of huge saves. He's just been making all of the saves that we need. Like there's in Gus we trust right here, and then Gus for Vezina. Like he's playing like a Vezina caliber goalie, at least so far. Like it's only been a few games and small sample size and everything, but
I mean, I think he is just based on like they mentioned it on the broadcast. The last 2 games, I guess the Flames under Daryl Sutter have like a different mentality, like just get everything to the net. And while they were hemmed in a lot, I don't think that they had any slot shots. I think there was like 6 slot shots in the whole game, and it's like, so analytically it doesn't look great for the Flames. It looks like they kind of got dominated by the Sens. So that's why I think in the past the Sens have probably played good games, and they're limiting slot shots even though they're getting hemmed in their own end, but they're not getting the saves on the shots that they need to, and that's exactly what Gus has been doing. So good on him, and it makes a world of a difference. It's points in 5 straight now for the Sens.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the Sens are just a whole different team as of late. Like they've been keeping games a lot closer. They've had a few rough games against Edmonton not long ago, but other than that, like this team has just tightened up so much. There's been a lot more low-scoring games. They were getting blown out quite a bit of times, not necessarily by a big score, but at least letting in a lot of goals. So it's good to see this team tightening up in all aspects, really.
No, absolutely. I think the defense is a huge indicator of that. Like the pairings are solidified. I mean, it's not even just the pairings. That top 4 has been solidified, and like all 4 of them are playing with each other. This was one of Nikita Zaitsev's best games of the season, I thought. He was just so solid defensively. A great empty net goal with a face-off win at the end. It's nice to see, and Shabbat didn't seem overworked tonight. He was a little slow to start, I think, but the third period he was fantastic as well. So I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, this team is looking completely different, and like you said, the top 4 is solidifying itself. Nikita Zaitsev with a fantastic game tonight, defensively sound, and obviously netted his first goal of the season on the empty net. But then you also have Mike Riley. Like everybody's saying to bench Mike Riley, scratch Mike Riley, and I can't say I haven't disagreed with that. But
me too.
But tonight was a fantastic game and a perfect reason why he almost should even stick around after the deadline and maybe even until next season, depending on what the outlook for our management to expect our D to look like next year.
Yeah, I'm a little. I was one of the people who were saying Mike Riley should be on the bench, and I mean, in the early season he was not good. He was much like the team, and it's almost like once he settles down and they have an actual top 4 defense, which he looks like right now, he's great. He's not trying to do too much. That's when they have success and when he has success. So I've liked seeing it. I don't know if they're going to move him at the deadline because, I mean, someone's pointing out, every time this team starts winning, we think they're going to go on some magical run. I mean, look, they had until the postponement for Sunday's game against the Canadiens. It was going to be 4 straight against the Habs. I'm not going to they're not going to go on a playoff run here. But they were saying in the intermission too. I think it was Frank Cervalli who was saying that they might not want to move their pieces. They might just want to stay competitive to the end. They're in a Canadian division where realistically they're the only team that wasn't expected to make the playoffs, so they can play spoiler to teams like the Habs, the Canucks, and the Flames, just like they did the last 2 games. So I'd be okay if they just kept the core intact, and then get the UND guys down to Belleville.
Yep, I agree. It'll be nice to see what kind of impact that these guys make, because we don't even know who all might be coming over. Like, we don't know about Jake Sanderson yet. Tyler Clevin is most likely sticking around in North Dakota, but we don't know that yet. So there could be a lot of surprises in the next month or so with this team.
Yeah, I would think that if they go on and win the championship, that Sanderson would sign with the Sens, just based on what else do you have to prove, I guess. But we'll see how that goes. And just thinking of this team right now, though, that fourth line had to be the best fourth line we've ever seen. They were the best. They were, up until the third period, they were the team's best line all night. Yeah. Just the speed.
Alex Formenton came into this game ready to prove something. He had a really early penalty kill opportunity, and oh my goodness, did he ever look good on that?
Yeah, I remember back when he started, he made the team at a training camp, and it was Guy Boucher was the coach. Yep. And Boucher said that he has McDavid-like speed, and I remember it got misquoted, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's no way he's McDavid speed." But it was the fact that he can skate, he can make plays as fast as he can skate, and that's where he's successful. And he's just like rangy, I don't know if that's even a word, but you know what I mean. He's just long, and he has a nice reach, and his feet get him into great plays.
Yeah, and actually, you say that, but Alex Formenton has a better time in the All-Star game for fastest skater than Connor McDavid.
There you go.
He has the third fastest in AHL history, I believe. It might be pro hockey history. I'm not sure. At least that was recorded. But yeah, it's third either AHL or both leagues. And
I remember
it's just fantastic.
No, and it's speed. It's what you need in your bottom six. I don't think he's projected to be a top 6 player, but if he's like a Nick Paul prototype almost, right? And they had some chemistry even going tonight. So
yeah,
that's great to see. I also wanted to mention Dadonov, because it was, to start the game, it was Norris, Tkachuk, and Dadonov.
Yep.
And I thought, that breakaway specifically, that right there is a player who's not scoring at the rate he wants to. I understand the puck was bouncing on that breakaway, but get a shot off at least. It's a breakaway. It's like a 50-50 chance almost, right? Just even shovel a backhand on. The fact that he was looking to pass, I don't know if, I'm assuming no one said anything because he's on a breakaway, but that was just pretty shocking to see. I mean, he drew a penalty out of it, but still not what you want from a guy who you brought in to score goals.
Yeah, and I think that argument is 100% valid. I do think that the puck was rolling more than it looked like, and he couldn't get a shot off. But yeah, he just kind of whiffed the whole breakaway and whatever. It was a pretty embarrassing moment. Here's a question for you: do you trade him at the deadline?
No, I don't think so.
Somebody offers.
If you're not going to trade Riley, who's like all the expiring deals, and you're just going to keep them, I don't think you trade Dadonov at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think he was brought in to fulfill the 3-year contract. I'm expecting that they're not going to be a team that's selling in 3 years.
Yeah.
The people are saying you should trade him. Oh, we'll wait till his contract's up, but that's in 2024. So I'm not waiting, or 2023. I don't know. I don't want the team to be sellers at that deadline, right? That's not the plan.
Yeah.
I will say about him though, he made a great forecheck on Norris's goal.
Yeah.
And perfect segue into my favorite player, Josh Norris. My God, this guy does absolutely everything. He wins draws. He goes to the net. He's great at playing. I think he's at his best when he plays with Brady Tkachuk. I don't know if people think the same. They just work really well together, and he goes to the little areas and does all the little things right, which is why the coaches love him, I guess. And he's getting rewarded. He's got 3 goals in his last 4 games.
Yeah, he's playing fantastic hockey. And like you said, you have to imagine that playing with Brady Tkachuk, you're best friend. Like,
Yeah,
that's got to have something to do with it. And the fact that Brady Tkachuk is the face of this team and you are his best friend and playing beside him, like, that's got to have something to do with confidence.
absolutely. And I mean, Connor Brown kind of, not that he got the shaft, he ended up playing 18 minutes tonight, but
Yeah.
he was bumped down the lineup. He was put on that line with with Formanton and Bishop.
Yep.
But I think he moved back up afterwards. But they have great forward depth, and honestly, the first period, I think Batherson and Stützle were a little quiet. They picked it up towards the end of the game. Stützle was right in the center of that last shift where Tierney scored again. They scored back-to-back game winners for Chris Tierney.
Yeah. Don't even
That's
get me
crazy.
started. Like, I wish that, I don't know. I do like that he's scoring because I want Seattle to pick him up. But yeah, he's doing a really good job of finishing those plays that he should be. It was just right at that point that everybody lost faith that he could even do it anymore.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm. Like, everyone was just kind of writing him off, and then last game, and then he comes in and does this. I think that this was his best game or not as a center, but as this season. I mean, easily his best game. He had his feet moving, which is crazy. Like, he was first on pucks. Like, that's a player that's playing with confidence, and that's what it does to people.
Can't wait for him to score next game and then get no more all year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing worth noting is that he scored his first 3 goals on his first 3 shots. And since then, he hardly has taken a shot. He's well under a shot per game, which is terrible.
It's funny you mentioned that, though, because he had 3 shots tonight.
That's what I was just about to mention. Yeah. 3 shots from Chris Tierney. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah. That's what he needs to do. Like, just throw pucks on net. Like, honestly, take that Daryl Sutter mentality and just throw pucks on net, especially if you're in a slump like that. So it's good to see that it's going in for him, and clutch goals too.
Yeah.
But we also need to mention, like, this, they were down 1-0 going into the third, excuse me. That was only, and then they end up coming back to win. It was the second time they've done that all year, and the other time was the Toronto comeback.
And it was the first time that Calgary's lost a game after leading into the third. So
yeah, I think that says a lot about this team. The fact that they were able to hem, and it was the young line doing it too. It was Stützle, Batherson, and Tierney, hemming the Flames in their own end there. That's a big deal. I think it's showing how this team's growing and how they're competing every night. And one thing we do need to mention, though, again, is the power play. Because all the good that they are at 5-on-5 and how they compete, they drive people to the outside. They look like they're first on every puck on the power play or on the at even strength and even the penalty kill.
Yep.
But once it gets on the power play, they all just turn into slow players.
Yeah,
and it's infuriating to watch. It's all these offensive opportunities that they're throwing away is really unfortunate.
Yeah, and they just can't get anything going. Like, something's got to change, and I don't even think I can tell you what.
I don't know either. Well, first is face-offs, because once they're in the zone, we've been over this. Once they're in the zone, they're pretty lethal, and I think they got set up properly twice, the top unit.
Yep.
And once they did that, they had to quit 3 passes and boom at the net. That's the mentality they have to have. But then they're not winning the puck races and they're losing it. So something definitely does need to change, because it feels like a different team when they're on the power play. You can just tell they don't have confidence on it right now. So
yeah, I
agree that something needs to change.
Yeah. And so, yeah, other than that, our special teams tonight, especially the penalty kill, were solid. The power play, not so much, but yeah, the penalty kill definitely made up for it, I think.
Yeah, I think the penalty kill has made a lot of improvements since that one game in Edmonton way back, where they had 4 power play goals. It's made a lot of improvements. I'm just looking at the time on ice for defensemen, and it's got Josh Brown had 10 minutes and Wolanin had 8 minutes.
Yep.
So they're really throwing out those top 4 players, and pretty evenly, I'd say. I mean, Chabot with 28 minutes, and most of that's from the power play.
Yep.
I'm personally okay with doing that, because unless you got Brandstrom in there, and I feel like the coaching staff had more trust in Brandstrom than they do in Wolanin.
Yep.
And rightfully so, because Brandstrom's been better than him. And in the same role, people don't understand, you can't sit there and be like, oh, Branson's played more. Well, he's played more because he's earned it, right? Yeah. And Wolanin has his chance now, and he didn't have a great game. When he was out there, he was fumbling the puck. He gave it away a couple times, and your partner's Josh Brown, also not a great player. Yeah. But you can't sit there and be like it's the partner's fault because the other two pairings are solidified. So there's no spot to give him more of an opportunity. That's just how I see it right now. And it obviously, I don't know if sending him down to Belleville would work. I think he's on a one-way deal.
Yeah.
But I assume that Brandstrom's staying in Belleville for the rest of the season or until there's an injury. So I wouldn't be shocked if Wolanin's in that spot for the rest of the season, and he's just got to be able to show that he can be trusted, I guess.
Yeah, and hard to argue with anything you just said. I think Brandstrom has a better career if he plays the rest of this season in the AHL. I think it'll really help him out. And
I don't know if people missed it, but when Dorion went on TSN 1200 at the end of last week, and he said, Brandstrom's kind of like Batherson last season, where he was up a couple times, but he needs to play the whole season in Belleville, and then next year will be Brandstrom's Batherson year, and that works because Batherson's 22 and Brandstrom's 21, so it's the same age.
And they both turned pro the same year, I believe.
Yeah, something along like that. I think
like the same age.
They were both drafted in 2017. I just think Batherson's older. But yeah, and this is a good point too. Like Brandstrom looks great in Belleville, and Belleville dressed 9 forwards and 7D tonight. Yeah, because they just have no one because people are getting called up and injuries and everything. So
that's the thing. Like, why is Abramov just sitting on our taxi squad right now? Like, they only dressed 9 forwards. I mean,
I think it's the taxi squad itself. Like, all those players would be in Belleville. Yeah. Right. So the addition of the taxi squad is probably not helping at all. But yeah, I understand. Like, you should just throw Abramov down there. But I don't know. Maybe they'll get him into a game in the next little while here. But they don't play until they play tomorrow night against the Leafs, and then I think until Tuesday with the postponement on Sunday.
And that's
Yeah, we could be looking at tomorrow as the last Sens hockey game for a while here because they were supposed to have 4 upcoming games against the Canadiens. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens because it was Kotkaniemi and Armia, I want to say, that both tested positive. It's a tough situation in Montreal right now. But we can kind of quickly run over. We kind of mentioned them all, but didn't really talk about them, all the goals tonight. So Josh Norris with a beautiful feed from Dadonov, which is
great work by him.
Which is exactly what you want to see from Dadonov. He had a few flops tonight, but oh well. Yeah. Great feed out front to Josh Norris, and I don't think I've seen Brady Tkachuk smile that big in a couple of weeks. I don't think. He was really excited, so it was good to see that. I thought it was Tkachuk that put it in, and I was pretty excited for my fantasy team. But
I mean, Tkachuk was 2 shots and 7 hits.
Yeah,
so he made his presence known.
He certainly did.
He definitely started that play too. He brought it up through the neutral zone, and then he made a great forecheck as well. So
yeah, and then after that we have what goal was next? Was the Tierney one? Yeah, Tierney. Just like you said earlier, just got the rebound and poked it home like he did last game. But nothing great or skilled about it, really. Just right place, right time.
That shift was more about them just hemming the Flames in, the tired Flames who just collapsed in front of their net. Like, that was Shabbat, and then I guess like the fact that Zub broke his stick, and then and then he goes off and changes, and they were able to keep possession and then put on another minute of pressure. Yeah, that's just great stuff. And Stützle was at the forefront of that. I thought he was going to shake and bake a couple times in that third period. He was like, he had his legs going in his hands and stuff. But I mean, it was great stuff from Shabbat and Batherson mostly. I remember on that shift for that Tierney goal. Yeah. Which agree, you love to see it. And then a little bit of a sell job from Stützle on that last penalty.
A little bit.
That was look, it was a penalty because he hit him up high, but
Yeah.
you know the snap back of the head, everyone does it. That's not a huge dive. And I saw Nesterov like arguing. It's like, yeah, I saw him arguing. He's like pointing right here. Like I didn't hit him in the head. I hit him right here. But like, why are you cross checking someone in like the throat collarbone area, anyways?
With
When
2 minutes left while you're down.
Exactly, and the puck's not even there. Like I don't understand it. So, that was strange. But then they get it right back because Kachuk got caught flat-footed.
Yeah.
And again, like they just 2 face-offs from Nick Ball.
Yeah.
At the end there.
I think he's going to be a good center someday. He only took 4 face-offs tonight, but won 3 of them. So yeah. I think he definitely fits up the middle on this team. If we need to move out a spot for Dzingel and Batherson, or Formanton, sorry.
Yeah. So, look at Chris Tierney.
Yep, 75% on 12 face-offs. That's awesome.
Easily his best.
Yep, and I mean, other than Brady Tkachuk, who took 3, all of them were at 50% or higher.
Oh, okay. So we've made a point of saying like the Sens seem to throw around who takes the face-off a lot more.
Yep.
And every team they play, it seems like they have 4 or 5 guys who take them. So I'm looking at the Flames right now. Derek Ryan took 1 and he took 2 and he was 1 for 2, so he's 50%. Monahan was 60%.
Yep.
Lindholm was 35%.
I know Backlund was bad.
Backlund was 14%. It felt to me like the Flames were dominating the face-off circle early on.
Yeah.
But I guess there weren't a ton of face-offs in that first period especially, so maybe that was just me, but yeah, I guess the Sens kind of cleaned up on that, which is nice.
Yeah. And yeah, it's good to see them winning the face-off, so.
Yeah.
And then our third goal, 200-foot goal from Nikita Zaitsev.
First
the
of the
last
year.
Person you'd expect. First of the year, yeah.
But that's like a perfect, like people might think, oh, it's risky to go for it, but literally that was a bang, like Paul wins it to Zub. Zub just taps it back for Zaitsev in motion, comes around the net. Like they definitely practice something like that where you can go for the empty net on a win off a 1 face-off, and great shot by him. It's just I don't think I was as confident in this game as I was the game before, just based on how much pressure the Flames had. But again, when Gustafson's there making stops like that, he is just in the zone at the moment. I wouldn't be like against them starting him tomorrow too if he's up for it, right?
Yeah,
like,
if he wants to.
Hot.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to talk about for the game. We can get into our 3 stars here. We do have something special after our 3 stars, so we have something a little fun.
Okay, all right. I've got. Just give me a sec here. Sorry, I'm gonna go with Shabbat 3rd star. Just workhorse. He had a great 3rd period.
Yep.
He's at his best when he's like up in the play, I find.
Yeah.
And he's not in his own end. So I'll push Shabbat, and then I'll go Mike Riley for 2nd star.
Yep.
He as good as Tierney was, he definitely had his best game this season. I thought he was just moving well. He was strong on the puck. And then 1st star. This is a tough one. I mean, I guess I'll go Gustafson. I guess.
Okay, I was gonna say it shouldn't be that tough.
Like it's not like he's. I don't know. It's just he just made the stops he needed to, and I think the Flames were dominating kind of.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I didn't think he was keeping the Sens in it to I think the team is playing a lot better than people would give them credit for, but he definitely deserved, like, I mean, 966, 1 goal and 2 goals in 2 games. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
So that's my 3.
I think he's got like a 975 save percentage right now on the season.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, because he went 8 for 8 in that 1 game. So
yeah,
good on him.
I have a pretty similar list. I'll give my 3rd star to Brady Tkachuk. Just pretty much the same reason you gave it to Shabbat, honestly. Just a workhorse. He just drives his team into battle every night. And 7 hits takes a toll, and he's always willing to throw it out there. So
yeah,
good night for him. Pretty quiet offensively. Obviously, great play on that Tierney goal, but for the most part, pretty quiet offensively. My 2nd star, I'll give it to Chris Tierney. Again, just because of expectations going into tonight. I didn't expect him to have a great game like he did. So, yeah, I don't think he was the second best player tonight, but I think he was the most over expectations.
Yeah, it was his best game, I think, of the season. So you reward it.
Yeah. And I'll go Philip Gustafson just because we haven't seen a goalie like this yet this year.
No.
Decord for a few games, but for the most part, we haven't seen steady goaltending. So
that'll be that's kind of my reason for not being shocked, I guess, for Gustafson. Decord was as good, I think.
Yeah.
Except for when he came in relief and stuff, but I think he was as good, but the team wasn't playing great in front of him. I think that's why I think like this is just what you need out of goaltender.
Yep.
When the team plays well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then real quick, who needs to be better?
I'll go Willanen. He needs to because he's going to be in the lineup. The other defenseman is Coburn. I don't really want to see Coburn in there.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else does. So I would definitely say Willanen needs to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yep. For mine, I'm going to go Gord Miller. He needs to stop talking about shutouts. He screwed us last game. Not really. He didn't. It's just a fluke. But yeah, he screwed us out of a shootout last game, apparently. And then moments after he talks about it tonight, there goes Markstrom's shutout. So
yeah, that was a little like, okay, that's like, I don't believe in like jinxes or anything, but that was like too close, I found.
Yeah. It was like moments. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So here I have the expansion draft simulator on Cap Friendly.
Nice.
So let's just kind of go through this. We'll start with goalies just because it's the smallest group. What goalie are you protecting? I'm going to narrow it down probably to Murray, Gustafson, and Decord.
Oh man, this is fun.
So who are you going to take?
I think Gustafson, depending how the next few games go, if he just takes the net for the rest of the year, I would definitely protect him.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's really tough to see what's gonna come, I think. It's wild that they have to protect Gustafson.
I know. I don't understand why.
He's 22.
Yeah.
And he's an RFA.
Yeah.
I'll just say Decord. I don't know. I feel like Decord would be an easy expansion team pick, just like a good guy to get around. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's mine.
I'll say it's going to be Gustafson just because I feel like Gustafson has a higher ceiling than Decord. I feel like Decord obviously is more ready. He's 2 years older, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But Joey Decord, I don't think is a guy that an expansion team looks at with who else is going to be available this year. Like, look at all the tandems that will have at least one of the goalies available.
Oh, I know.
Like Jerry or DeSmith, they're both solid goaltenders. Holtby or Demko. Drieger, because Bobrovsky has a no-move clause. Merzlikins and Korpisalo.
They're everywhere.
It's just I don't see Decord being one of the top 4 goalies available in this expansion draft. So
I'll just say if Gustafson finishes out the season, definitely him. But I feel like it's a little premature to be like him. He's played 2 games. But yeah, just based on the age too, he's so young.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
So defensemen, you obviously have Thomas Chabot. Who are your other 2?
What? They don't have to protect Brandstrom.
Nope.
Why don't they have to do Brandstrom? They have to do Gustafson. I don't get it.
They don't have to protect Mark Kostelik either, who's also 22.
Maybe it's over. Oh no, he's 20. Okay, I don't understand. I need to look at the rules again. But I would say there's no point protecting Goodbranson.
No. So worth noting, Josh Brown and Zaitsev are the only other ones that aren't under contract next season.
So why risk? I would just go Zaitsev and Brown, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, why would you protect someone who's going to be a UFA?
Willanen will be an RFA.
Oh.
So
I don't think he's.
Did you freeze, Jack?
There, am I back?
Oh, yeah, you're back.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't if anything, I would give Mike Riley an extension and protect him, Zaitsev, and that's a tough choice. So here's the thing: what is it all for? You could do 7 forwards, 3
7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie.
or you could do 8 skaters and a goalie.
Yes.
Let's do the forwards first, and then we will decide about the defenseman, because I feel like we might end up just doing.
Either way, you have to protect Shabbat, so that's only 7 forwards and 1 defenseman.
Why not?
Well,
might as well. I mean, I guess that's kind of. Is it 7 forwards?
7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie, or 8 skaters. Yeah.
I mean,
you just kind of got to protect Zaitsev and Wolanin at this point.
But would you protect Zaitsev? That's not a huge. He's been a lot better this year, but losing that contract, he's until 2024 he's signed. So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a terrible thing. I would just honestly probably protect Wolanin then, and let's go Riley. I don't know. That's really strange.
What? I agree. If we lose Zaitsev, oh well, we can replace somebody at least equal value for that money.
Yeah.
And Wolanin is the only RFA. So, yeah, Mike Riley has been the best on this list, I guess, other than Shabbat. So, makes sense.
Those are my 3, I guess. Yeah. Wow.
We'll start with the obvious. You're going to protect Brady Tkachuk. You don't want to lose Logan Brown for nothing, I don't think.
No.
Drake Batherson, 100%.
That's it on there.
And that's pretty much all of the guarantees.
I'd go Connor Brown, Nick Paul. Are we at 6 right now?
That is 5.
I would do Colin White as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then...
So you pretty much got to choose, but I'm just looking at people that I think would be taken. You kind of got to choose between Dzingel if you want him back, Watson, Tierney, or Dadonov.
I don't think that UFAs are worth a protection just because the team isn't acquiring them to sign. Like they're getting their rights pretty much, right?
You can have conversations about a contract before the expansion draft. There's like a 2-week period that Seattle can talk to players.
With all UFAs?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
But if we have an extension in for Dzingel, then that's different.
Yeah. I would go Watson.
Yeah.
Because I think he's going to he would get taken for sure. He's up at the top there.
Yeah.
Right under.
So that leaves you probably losing Dadonov.
Not the end of the world, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to protect Logan Brown. So I feel like that spot can open up.
I would really hope that Logan Brown is gone before then, I think.
I feel like he's a deadline piece. Yeah. This is a weird... Like, they're not going to lose anything groundbreaking here. Let's be real. The defenseman is, really weird.
Yeah. I'm just kind of looking at these comments now. I've been on the other tab, sorry.
No worries.
But yeah, Natty says that Wolanin and Josh Brown, Zaitsev's contract is pricey. Same thoughts. Absolutely. And he also says, protect Abramov, expose Dadonov, Tierney, and Watson. Yeah, I don't think I can justify losing Watson for nothing. He is one of the most valuable pieces in terms of what he is on this team.
I don't think it would be worth exposing him. I think you'd definitely protect him.
Yeah.
I just think it would be weird if they left 3 players from this team right now, everyday guys, unprotected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'll do my list here real quick. I've kind of played with this a lot lately. But I'll go Gustafsson. I think almost an easy decision for me. Don't get me wrong. I love Joey Decord. But I think that's an easy decision for me. On defense, I go Shabbat, Zaitsev, and Wolanin. Zaitsev, just because I think that he is already here and it might be hard to bring somebody else here right now. There's not a whole lot of options in free agency this season for defensemen, I don't think.
Right.
At least that I see not re-signing with their team. And yeah, Zaitsev, I really don't think the contract is as bad as people make it out to be. It's a little bit long, but it's not terrible.
I definitely think if he's like he is now, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But if he's what he is last season, which he has gone back to a couple times this year, then it's not worth it.
Yeah. And so for my forwards, I probably protect. Yeah, see, this is where it gets hard.
I think you could. Did you take Logan Brown off? Yeah,
I took
wouldn't
Logan
do
Brown off. I don't think he's being protected.
If Abramov gets in a couple games this year, for sure protect him. But if he doesn't, then I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I don't know. I'm trying to think of Vegas. I don't think Vegas went for a ton of young players, if I'm not mistaken. They went for a bunch of guys like Austin Watson,
Yeah,
or a Colin White, like an established NHL player already who just needs a new home. I definitely think the teams are going to be smarter because Vegas made out like bandits in that expansion draft, and they also don't have to expose anyone, which is great.
I
not
can
sure.
also see something like we leave Dadonov exposed, but we give you Logan Brown, so you take Matthew Pekka. Like,
yeah, something like that.
I could see Logan Brown being one of those pieces. So it'll be really interesting to see what this team does. I don't want to get too deep into this, but
no, yeah. Well, I mean, Gustafsson makes you think about it. It's that's really the only spot where they could end up losing something of value is goalie. I think.
Yeah, we just have so many goalies that can play on a team. Like whether they're good or not, we just have a lot of NHL caliber goalies.
Like
right now.
Abramov, if he gets picked up, it's going to be like the Balsers thing all over again. People are just going to get all bent out of shape about it. But I don't think it's going to affect them that much long term. Like how many wingers can you have in your system that are going to be a part of your contending team one day? So
and we're already almost having that problem already.
Yeah. Is it only one goalie for sure you can protect?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's strange.
Yeah.
So that's where they're going to lose something, I think, if the Kraken want to do that. But I wouldn't be shocked if they don't end up taking any goalies.
Yeah, fair enough. So, that was just kind of a little fun thing to throw at the end of this.
Or maybe you leave Dadonov exposed in hopes that they don't take a goalie that you have in your system, right? Because they are only taking one player from every team.
Yeah,
you just leave Dadonov. I don't think they'll leave Dadonov, but yeah, that's it's something to think about for sure.
Yeah, we have a lot of like level tier players that just kind of pick and choose one of them to go. So it'll be some tough decisions coming at the end of the season for every team. Definitely. So that was just kind of something fun to throw at the end of this. Definitely. So thank you everybody for coming to watch. We will see you tomorrow night against Toronto. So hopefully we get another big win there. So take care.